Spencer for that very festive introduction. Welcome to the Acton-Boxborough Regional High School's International Green Flag Celebration. We're honored to have our wonderful school community recognized as a Green Flag school. I'd like to thank Liz Soper here from, she's the Associate Director of Eco Schools USA, hosted by the National Wildlife Federation, who sponsors the Green Flag program here in the United States. It's an international award again. I'd like to recognize representatives from Senator Scott Brown's office, Mr. Denny Drury, and Senator John Kerry's office as well, Mr. John Pasavos. Also, thank you to Congresswoman Nikki Tsongas for coming out and supporting us here today. Thank you to Senator Jamie Eldridge and Representative Gene Benson for coming out as well. As a district, we get a great deal of community support from our local elected leaders. I want to thank representatives from Acton Board of Selectmen, FinCom, members of the Acton Water District here today, and especially our local school committee. Thank you for both the emotional and financial support. I'd like to thank our colleagues in the administration for offering their support, especially Superintendent of Schools Dr. Stephen Mills and High School Principal Dr. Elise Callan, who has been very gracious and welcoming in our initiatives into the school community. From a staff perspective, a great deal of appreciation has to go to Kate Crosby. We're very lucky to have Kate in our department, in the facilities department, and Kate is a force to deal with, she's a true enthusiast and a compassionate leader, and she's had a great impact here in her short time. There's many faculty advisors also who've helped out. I'd like to recognize Steve Singer, leader of the Recycling Club. Fred Hone, advisor to the Envirothon team. And of course, all the faculty members who come out and contribute and support the Green Council on a monthly basis. Primarily, I'd like to recognize the students whose organic efforts made this a reality. As the most essential member of our school community, this is their award, and it would not have been possible without them. They deserve a great deal of credit for leading change here in the high school. They have had a direct impact on reducing our carbon footprint as a district, which is amazing. As a school district, and I would also assume they've probably done their fair share at home as well. So with that, I would like to introduce two forces of nature themselves, Sophie Purdom and Mangli Shi.
Hello everyone, thank you for having us. I'm Sophie Purdom. I'm Mangli Shi, and we are speaking on behalf of all the students in Green Council and their, all the environmentally related groups in our school.
Yeah, so I think that our job is to give a little overview and summary of all of the activities and events that we've been doing for the past 2 years. So we'll try to keep this brief. So things started out 2 years ago at the beginning of the year when Kate Crosby showed up with a kilowatt meter, which is a wonderful device which measures electricity draws from outlets and walls and appliances. And that is a very simple device with which everything started. So from there, a group of other students decided to join in, and soon our force of just a handful became a horde of students going into rooms and checking out appliances, and that eventually formed a program called the Power Down Team.
Yeah. And so in Power Down, we go around and we educate people on energy conservation, and specifically we have things such as Power Down weekends, where we put on door tags on before every vacation. So we remind teachers that they have to shut off all their lights, turn off their appliances so they can conserve energy. And this is just, we do this every vacation, but it's just to remind them so they can do that every day. And so some figures, like we reduced energy by 4%, and that saved our school $30,000 last year, which is a lot of money, so we could buy like textbooks and stuff.
That was good for year one, but
Yeah.
year
Yeah.
2, even more exciting, we've moved on, and through some more efforts of student and faculty, and with minimal capital investment, we've reduced the school's energy by 11%, which saves us about $70,000 per year. Okay, so we expanded just from energy and power down to other resources, and we decided at the beginning of the school year that we would partner with a wonderful program from the National Wildlife Federation and Eco Schools, which is called Green Flag. So Green Flag is a certification program, and under that we formed a committee of students and faculty and teachers, and most importantly community members. So this became an Acton movement and not merely just a school movement. And so those committed members formed the Green Council.
And for the Green Council, for the Green Flag Award, we had to cover 3 pathways, and so we picked energy, water, and waste and resources. And so under our Green Council umbrella, we had Power Down that covered the energy part, and then Envirothon, which covered water, which was perfect because for Envirothon we were studying stormwater. And then we had recycling, and then we formed Resource Force, this new composting group that joined with recycling, and they covered the waste part of the project.
Yeah, and Green Council is especially wonderful because it included lots of clubs and groups at the school that were already formed, and it united us towards this one goal, which we achieved, and that's why we're all here today. So it was a united effort.
Yeah, we never thought it would be possible like a year from now.
Mm-hmm. It was a big undertaking, but we all made it, so congratulations to everyone. Should we talk about water?
Yes. Okay, so
Water.
for water in Envirothon, we did lots of water. Well, in Power Down, we did energy audits. So in Envirothon, we did water audits where we went around the school and we counted all the toilets and sinks and urinals.
That was fun.
Yeah. Went into boys' locker rooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so after that, we assessed for leaking, and we just saw how much water we use pretty much, and we calculated all that. And then after that, we were required to do, not required, but we thought of a project that we could to cover some water issue in our school. And something that applied was stormwater runoff, which down from Charter Road, there's when it rains, a lot of stormwater comes off from the slopes and it just goes down into the road and just sits there. And so we thought it'd be appropriate to make this little corner by Charter Road a rain garden, and that would make everything aesthetically pleasing, and yeah, it educates the community about water runoff.
Yeah, so a rain garden, in case any of you don't know what that is, it's an area in a low-lying depression where you transform it into an aesthetically pleasing garden, usually with local plants, so that it will sequester the rainwater runoff, and it will help it infiltrate into the ground faster, and therefore it won't continue running off and picking up toxins and pollutants. So the plants help to strip it of the pollutants and get it back into the water table right there. So that's nice. We're going to go visit it. If everybody sticks around, we're going to go on a little field trip. And we did the rain garden with the help of community members. Nan Millett from the Acton Garden Club was a huge help, so thank you. And we actually built the entire rain garden on Senior Community Service Day, which tied it back into the school and the community once again, because lots of students that wouldn't otherwise have been involved could sign up. And the seniors were so great, and the juniors that came to help out. We spent about 7 hours building this rain garden, whereas other projects took 45 minutes. So thank you to everybody who helped out with that, and thank you to Fred Home for overlooking that. And we made a beautiful sign, which was made by other students, and it's gorgeous, so I can't wait to show you all. So other than that, then we also did Resource Force.
Okay, so for Resource Force, we formed this group because we thought like in our cafeterias, we were throwing away a lot of stuff that we shouldn't have thrown away. And we already had like a recycling club to deal with like single stream with paper.
They're awesome.
Yeah,
Good
they're
job.
Awesome. Yay. Mr. Singer. And so we thought we would bring this into the cafeteria because people would be throwing away their clamshells, which are the little plastic boxes to put sandwiches in. And so we basically brought a little station to our cafeteria that would be manned by people, and it would have trash, composting, and recycling. And so what we expected of people were to bring up their lunches and stack their trays, but compost all their food scraps and recycle their milk bottles, their clamshells, and paper if they had any.
Yeah. So we thought that there was a need for this way back at the beginning of the year, but we really knew statistically that there indeed was a absolute necessity for us to take this next step after we completed a really fun outing called the Down and Dirty Trash Sort Party behind the dumpsters. So at the trash sort party, Jamie Eldridge came, which was wonderful, and we talked about the need to begin capturing all of these resources that were going into the waste stream. And so we looked at trash from one period's worth of lunch waste, which was going to go and be incinerated. And there were 12 black full plastic bags. And of that, we ripped them all open and we analyzed what was inside, kind of like a dissection. And we split it into food scraps and plastic recycling and other recycling like metals and cans and glass, etc. So we found that of the full, huge black trash cans, only half of one bag was actual trash. So that was the catalyst for all the change that we began making, and we now capture a huge amount of compost and recyclables, which would otherwise be lost
Landfill.
Forever. Yeah.
Landfill.
So I don't know if you know the stats, but we now
200%?
Yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
huge increase. And one important thing is we switched over. We have dumpsters out the back of the high school, and originally there were 2 black trash dumpsters, which were just going to go straight away to be incinerated. But we switched over so that we now have 2 recycling dumpsters and 1 trash dumpster.
And one compost dumpster.
And yeah.
And we have a compost dumpster too.
Yeah, that's the best. Yep. Yeah.
So now I'm going to introduce Kate Crosby, who is near and dear to our hearts, who is the energy advisor for the Acton-Boxborough School District.
Thank you, Kate.
Well, it's a big day, and thank you all for being here. I see so many familiar faces around this room that have been part of this effort and have contributed in ways large and small. And it's extraordinary to be standing here today. This is something we made up last summer, and you know that feeling when you are able to bring something into fruition that you have dreamed of. So it's quite a day. I wanted to take a moment just to recognize a couple of student groups that are here. The Climate Club is here from R.J. Gray with Jean Goulet, and the Black Gold Miners are here as well, who've been working on a project. I see you guys up there. Yeah, thank you for coming. And I also, Peter Nickel is here, and student Sam Gazy from Concord Carlisle High School, which is a special treat to have them here. And so we have been pedaling towards the green flag for months and months now. And in the process, there was a suggestion made that we apply for a couple of other awards. So in the midst of planning for this celebration today, we learned just 3 days ago that we were going to receive an additional national award and an additional state award, and I just wanted to share that information with you. We are, It's been a full week. We We have received at the state level the Secretary's Award for Excellence in Energy and Environmental Education at the level of first honors, and we'll be going to the State House on Monday to receive that award. And in addition, thank you. In addition, our NSTAR encouraged us to apply for an award through the National Energy Education Development Project, which is a well-respected national nonprofit that works to create and support energy curriculum and energy education. And they have bestowed upon us the National Rookie of the Year Award for our Power Down project, and they're going to fly 10 of us down to Washington, D.C. at the end of June. And with that, I am going to turn us over to the reason for our gathering here today, which is the work that we have done on understanding and then pursuing the rigorous framework of being recognized as a Green Ribbon School. And I'm going to ask Liz Soper to come up and speak with us. She's the Associate Director of the Eco Schools USA program, which is a part of the National Wildlife Federation, as they serve as the U.S. host for this international program.
Thanks, Kate. Thanks all of you for being here. This is pretty impressive. I've been here for probably, 4 or 5 hours. I got lunch here. I've been shown everything, and it's pretty impressive. Everybody here should be pretty impressed and spend some time looking at the displays out there and talking to the students and really learning about what they've learned about, because it's exceptional. So I am absolutely thrilled to be here today, to be able to award the green flag. And this is the green flag. You will see it a little bit better at the end here. I just have a few words to say. But it is the highest level of achievement under our Eco Schools program here in the United States. And again, there have been so many people involved that I've learned about today in this achievement here for Acton-Boxborough Regional High School. But again, I particularly want to give a shout out to the students. I've spent most of my time today with students. It's one of the things that we do as part of our assessment is to learn from them what their experience was like. And I guess I was really blown away by the 2 sets of students that I actually get to sit down with and speak with and really hear from them the skills they've learned, the knowledge they've learned. I think one of the best things that I heard this morning was they started talking about how they started to develop the strategy and the organization to be able to accomplish what they have. And I said, after listening to them at the end, I said, you know what? You sound like you've created your own NGO. You guys could go out into the real world and you can have the skills to be able to really work in the real world. Communication, leadership, strategy, observation, inquiry, all of these things. This is an environmental or a sustainability award. But the amount of learning that's taken place is amazing. So congratulations, and just a real shout out to you guys, the students, because Eco Schools is a student-driven program. The kids, not really kids here, the young adults are supposed to be in charge, and I could tell today that they really are in charge. And again, a definite shout out to Kate, because I heard many times today that you are the driving force at a facilitation level, which is fabulous to make this happen. So just a little bit, the National Wildlife Federation, many of you may or may not know about us. We are a national organization. If you ever read Ranger Rick when you were little, that's who we are. We're way more than that, but in general, we focus primarily on protecting wildlife for our future right now and for our children's future, and part of that is sustainability, for sure, across the board. We are the U.S. host of the International Eco Schools program. So every single country that's engaged in Eco School has to have a nonprofit host that's willing to run the program in their country. Eco Schools is now in 53 countries around the world, So you are joining all of those countries. The last country that joined was Mongolia. So it goes from large countries like the US, China, to very small countries. Wales is involved. Mongolia is interestingly involved. It'll be fun to watch that one. To small islands like Malta. Each year I get to go to the meetings to actually work with all the different national operators, which is what I'm called. And it's just fabulous to see what all these other countries are doing. So these 53 countries are reaching over 38,000 K through 12 schools, 600,000 educators, and over 11 million students in the world. So if you all here are representative of the students that are across the globe doing this work, the world's going to be a better place pretty darn quick, for sure, especially from an environmental perspective. So the EcoSchools program, just quickly, so you know a little bit more about the overall program, it's a very holistic education for sustainability program. It focuses on greening the facility, the building, the grounds that are outside, like the rain garden, but it also works on the curriculum and the student experience. So it's really very comprehensive, and you all here at Acton Boxborough Regional High School were very comprehensive in the work that you've done and went way above actually what's required for the Green Flag Award. We have actually a tiered award system. You could get a bronze award, a silver award, and the green flag. Most schools start at the bronze level. You guys went right for the green flag. So that's great, and we have had some schools do that, but not quite in the time frame that you were able to pull it off. So you're overachievers. Yeah. So EcoSchools is really designed to help schools in a variety of ways. I've talked a little bit about this. You've shown this, including saving money, which is a big one. Now that money can be put back, keeping teachers, adding folks like Kate to the school, maybe even doing some additional sustainability work, improving student achievement, and from what I see today, really working to make leaders out of our students. Your school has really reached the pinnacle in the EcoSchools program in terms of the highest level of award that you can achieve with the green flag. But as I talked to all of you this morning, there's a lot more that can be done. And in fact, the green flag's only good for 2 years. You have to reapply to keep it going, but you've got lots to do. Not to say that you haven't done a lot, you've done a ton. Just to let you know, to date in the United States, We've had our program going for about 2 years now on the ground. There's about 1,200 schools that have registered to be EcoSchools and are working towards maybe a bronze or a silver or a green flag, but only 3 schools in the entire country have met the level of award that you are receiving today. So you are the 4th green flag school in the entire country. So that's pretty cool. Just to let you know that one of the other schools, Boston Latin School in Boston, was the first public school in the United States to become a green flag school. So very competitive, Sophie. I see that. It is not easy, and I'm sure you heard everything that the girls talked about. It's not easy to be a green flag school, and in fact, it often takes schools up to 2 years or more to become a green school. It takes a lot of work, a lot of commitment, and that's really evident in everything I've seen today and what you've done over the past year and a half to make this happen. As you said, you did 3 pathways of sustainability, but from what I heard and saw on the application, you actually did 5 different environmental assessments, including climate change, and what was the other one? Transportation. So that's a huge part of EcoSchools. EcoSchools have 7 steps they have to go through in each pathway, forming the green team, doing an environmental assessment for every single issue that you are engaged in, taking that information and creating an action plan, and doing evaluation and monitoring to make sure that you are progressing. So this first year it was 5% in energy, second year it was 11%. They were able to evaluate and monitor and show progress. And then integrating it into the curriculum and engaging the community, which I heard over and over today is a huge part of this. So you're doing a great job. I think it was 250% was your recycling improvement. So congratulations on that one. I was going to talk a little bit about what you've done, but I don't think I have to now because you've done a much better job than I could have done on that. So today you really do join an elite group of Green Flag schools here in the U.S. and around the world. My international colleagues, who I speak with probably on a monthly basis, EcoSchools is based in Denmark. They send their congratulations, best wishes, and heartiest congrats. Sophie, with your little English accent that's there, you get along really well with them. Litter is the big thing in Britain and Wales and Scotland, and litter, we have a litter campaign, and it's just wonderful. I'm in heaven every time I get to be around these people because they have such great accents. Anyway, they send their congratulations, and just so you know, there's about 13,000 green flags that have been awarded across the globe. And we have 4, and we're hoping to have a whole bunch more as we move forward over the next 4 or 5 years here. Most of all, what I really wanted to say, too, is how proud we are of all of you from National Wildlife Federation. This is a really important program for us. It encompasses a lot of the work that we've put into place over the last several decades, and it allows us to offer even more to schools, and the accomplishments that you have done really just help us realize how important it is to have this program for schools in the United States. The Green Flag is a special award. It's only awarded to those schools who have demonstrated a real commitment to environmental sustainability and increasing environmental literacy for its students, faculty, and wider school community. So be impressed. You should be impressed. You've done a fantastic job. And without talking any more, what I'd like to do is present the Green Flag to a couple or more of any students. I guess we're going to do a picture at the end of the Green Flag with all the students, but it's big, so I need some help. Sure, I will. Please stay for the photo. Kate is asking all of the students and everybody that's been involved so we get a really good comprehensive picture. Congratulations.
Wow, that's pretty special. Hi, my name is David Mulcahy. I'm a senior here at AVRHS. It's been a long 2 years ever since last fall when I was sitting in a student council meeting and Ms. Crosby came in and talked about this wild idea for energy conservation at the school. It's something I found really interesting, and I turned out to be the only one who wanted to come, but from student council at least. And I showed up and we spent a great year. Last year was a big year. We started out with energy and forming the Power Down team. We spent a lot of time during school hours, and then during the weekend we would come in early Saturday morning and really go through the school and measure each and every single device we had, all the copiers, printers, refrigerators, computers. It was a very long list of things we had to go through and do, but in the end we got a big amount of data that we could really go forward with and work to reduce that use. And we did a lot last year of trying to work with teachers and staff and faculty of how you can change, even your habits have such a big impact on, how energy is consumed. And that was a big deal. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of planning by students and involvement with faculty and a lot of support, and we're really appreciative. I know certainly through my experience I got a lot of kind of empirical information that I really couldn't have gone through anywhere else. It was a very rewarding experience, and the fact that I could do this within our school and be involved and make a difference, it was a big reward, and I'm very happy to have done this. But my job here today is mainly to introduce one of our esteemed guests. Congresswoman Nikki Tsongas serves on the Natural Resources Committee and is a founding member of the Sustainable Energy and Environment Caucus. Ladies and gentlemen, Congresswoman Tsongas.
Thank you all. It's great to be here, and really I'm here simply to congratulate you. And as I've sat here and listened to the remarkable creativity you brought to your effort, the intelligence really, the common sense that you brought to it, and to see Acton-Boxborough achieve the Green Flag Award so quickly, I think really it wouldn't be inappropriate for all of you to just pat yourselves on the back a little. It's just absolutely great. As I've been in Washington, I am on the Natural Resources Committee. That is a committee that oversees all our federal lands. There is a significant debate that takes place in Washington on that committee in particular around what the appropriate role of government is in regulating our environment, in moving us to a clean energy economy. And the differences are great, and the debate so very important. So as I'm here today to see the on-the-ground effort, I think it flows up really out of the culture of this area. If you think of it, I'm always very proud to represent what I call the revolutionary district, because we've had so many revolutionary figures living here, but not the least of whom was Henry David Thoreau, who I call the very first environmentalist. I sort of like to claim him in that role. So it's very much a value that we have in this district and in this region. It's great to see all of you young people respond to that value, whether it's in the air or something in your community or in your families, but to see the extraordinary impact you've had. As I was sitting here, I was thinking I'd love to send you out to so many high schools across the Commonwealth to talk about what you've been able to achieve here, because I think all too often young people in particular are rather dismayed by what doesn't happen in Washington to address the serious environmental and energy issues we have. But as we saw from and heard today about all of you, it's remarkable what you can do once you put your mind to it. You have the support of the adults in the room who recognize the value of what you're attempting to do. And to have done this in the short period of time that you did it tells me it's eminently doable, both on the national scale as it has been so apparently here in the high school. So I simply want to congratulate you for it. You can bet I'm going to be talking about this wherever I go. It's wonderful, and I'm so honored to be here, and just to say thank you for your work. But this is one that is particularly earned. So it's a certificate of special congressional recognition presented to Acton-Boxborough Regional High School upon receipt of the International Green Flag Award from the National Wildlife Federation in honor of your tremendously significant success in energy conservation and waste reduction. And so I'll present this to the three of you. Okay, all of you.
Couple more.
Come together, guys.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm a senior at AB, and I joined the Power Down Club this year in the fall, mainly because I was already busy turning off lights in my own house, so I thought I might as well do it here. And then basically from that, after doing all those Power Down weekends, basically progressed to the Green Council. And through that, we did a lot of like publicity and making like the eco code, which we put a lot of time into. And for example, this banner back here, which took about like 10 hours on the weekend. Yeah, so basically, I feel like I've learned a lot from doing these projects, and I've like gained a lot. I've learned a lot of knowledge about like energy and whatnot. Like, and then I was able to pass it on to other people through the STEM fair and through, I don't know, other things in general. So basically, I just wanted to say that I really enjoy doing this, and I really recommend it to other people as well. And I'm here to introduce Senator Eldridge. He is a leader on environmental issues in the Senate, and he was here to help us with our trash party solid waste audit in November.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. As a proud Acton-Boxborough Regional High School alum and your state senator, I am so honored to be here, and I want to congratulate all of the students for the leadership you've shown in reducing energy consumption at the high school and receiving this Green Flag Award. I also want to recognize Kate Crosby for her incredible stewardship of the students. I also want to thank JD Head, Dr. Callan, and Dr. Mills for their work on this. It was mentioned that I went to the trash party. I had over the past year met with 3 student groups, and if you could raise your hand or make some noise if you're here. I met with Phantom Load. Anyone from Phantom Load here? I met with Resource Force. I think that's everyone here. And the Black Gold Miners, right back there. What I want to say, as I said what I was thinking at the trash party, is my first reaction is that it was absolutely disgusting. Just to see the students and some of the teachers bringing out the different bins of trash and sorting them, people putting on boots and plastic bags and inviting me to do it. I didn't do that. But it really showed your commitment to the issue, and I know that since the practice is changed to avoid that, but it really was very impressive, and I think showed the dedication of the students and a clear reason why you're receiving this award today. What I said that day at the trash party is to realize and recognize whether you're talking about your town elected officials, your state or federal or the student administration, is that you're not alone. You're not working and acting in isolation. You have a lot of support, especially here in Massachusetts. And that's something that's very important to know as you go forward and graduate from high school and look to do similar efforts in college and hopefully go into careers in reducing energy consumption and addressing global warming. I also want to say that it's often said by elected officials at events honoring students that you are the future leaders of America. And I just want to say you're not simply the future leaders of America, you are the leaders right now on energy consumption and fighting global warming. So I want to congratulate you for that. Through my meeting with all the students and just talking out this policy in other towns that are adopting the green communities like Acton, I have had the opportunity to work very closely with Kate Crosby. And Kate, I just want to give a real personal thank you for your inspiration and your advising other communities on doing what's being done here in Acton. So I congratulate you for your work on that. Now, that initial position of energy advisor was funded by the Green Communities Act. And that's certainly something important to think about, is that it's not just about the local action, it's not just about composting and reducing energy use, but it's also about thinking, each and every one of you, about the policy changes that happen, especially at the state and federal level, and the opportunities that creates. The position that was funded here through the Acton-Boxborough Regional High School was funded in part by the Green Communities funding that came as a result of the legislature and Governor Patrick passing the Green Communities Act in 2008. And that's important to think about the impact that can have on just the local level. I just wanted to highlight a few achievements that have happened since 2008 on the energy front. Since 2008, the state has seen a 30-fold increase in the establishment of solar photovoltaic arrays across the state. So we've gone from 3.5 megawatts to 100 megawatts across the state of solar. We have 86 cities and towns that are green communities now in Massachusetts. Very proud to say of the 14 communities that I represent, 7 of the 14 are now green communities. And I know that just recently Acton received the designation of Solarized Massachusetts, which is a way to encourage and sort of persuade more homeowners and commercial owners to put solar and to encourage more energy efficiency practices. And on the energy efficiency front, Massachusetts now is the most energy efficient state in the United States. So I want to congratulate you on that as well. Now, there's clearly more to do, and Representative Benson and I and Congresswoman Tsongas at the federal level are working to do that right now. There is right now energy legislation pending that would increase the state's commitment to energy efficiency, require more utility companies to purchase alternative energy, and to really embrace the goals that Governor Patrick has set out to significantly reduce our CO2 emissions by 2020. And that kind of work is going to be required, the work of every single person here in this audience. I just want to finish and say that, you know, there's a lot of talk about reducing energy consumption from a cost point of view, from the opportunity to create jobs in terms of entrepreneurs. But let's never forget that the most important reason that we need to do this is the worry about global warming. The concern that if we don't act quickly in the next 5 to 10 years, we're not going to be able to go back. And all over the globe, we're going to see more and more natural disasters. We're going to see more and more heating of the globe that is going to be really devastating to a lot of populations, especially poor populations across the rest of the world. So let's not forget that that's the ultimate purpose of all this work. Again, I want to congratulate you for receiving this Green Flag Award, and I look forward to working with you even more closely. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Newman. I'm a senior here at AB, and I'm a member of the Power Down team, Envirothon and Resource Force. And I just wanted to talk about just a whole bunch of things I've learned this year and last year from just having the opportunity to be part of these teams. This year I got the opportunity to write a slightly persuasive letter to for the bottle bill to companies lobbying against it. And I was able to just have a good time being able to lead a project through the Lightsaber Project. If any teachers out there, I hope you enjoy your lightsaber. And just the ability just to meet a bunch of new people. I don't think I would have met a lot of people without all these clubs and lots of fun stuff like that. So now I get to introduce Representative Benson, who has been a longtime supporter of the well-being of our public schools. So Representative Benson.
Good afternoon. I'm very excited to be here. This is a fantastic event for a fantastic reason. Number 4 in the country. Congratulations. And I agree with everything that was said before me, but I'm going to talk actually about the money. Because I am a former school committee member. And I remember every year, right around this time, around town meeting time, how difficult it was to present the budget and get it passed at town meeting, and having to really not only advocate but prove every line item in that budget, and to be able to go forward and show not only a significant savings, but one that is good for our future and led by students. It's such a win-win. And so when we talk about sustainability, we're talking not only about our natural resources, but financial resources too, all resources. So keeping schools running and high achieving and operational well into the future, we need to be looking at all of our resources and how to use each of them wisely. And so thank you so much for really taking the leadership on this. And Kate, I remember last year at the Green Energy Summit that Senator Eldridge held, and hearing your presentation and really waiting on pins and needles to see how it all turned out. Congratulations. And so I have a citation, I guess, like the Congresswoman. We just carry these around with us. From the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the House of Representatives, and the State Senate. Be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Acton-Boxborough Regional High School in recognition of being awarded the prestigious International Green Flag Award for achievements in energy conservation and waste reduction. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Given this 4th day of May, 2012, signed by the Speaker of the House, myself, Corey Atkins, who could not unfortunately be here today, but she sends her very best wishes and congratulations, and Senator Eldridge. So congratulations. All right, who wants it? 'Cause
Hello, everyone. My name is Kendall. I'm a junior. I'm the student leader of Recycling Club here, and I'm also a member of the Green Council. And I just want to take a moment to recognize the great community that has come through this whole process. It really started with a couple of student groups, Recycling Club, Power Down, and Envirothon, all working independently. And then this past November, I really saw like students and a few community members coming together to start to say, how can we mesh this together and make our school more sustainable as a whole? And so from that, it's just grown to be one giant movement with all these groups and all these people working together. And it's grown so much to extend to really everyone in this room right now, I think. And I think it's given a lot of youth the opportunity to become leaders in this community, and also it's given us the ability to reach out to some of our community groups that aren't in the school. The Garden Club is one of them, who just helped us with the grain garden, and many others have really made this so cohesive. And I just want to recognize that even though this movement has been very, very student-driven within our school, that there's been a solid community backing the whole time. So thank you. And I would like to introduce Dr. Mills, who is superintendent of Acton-Boxborough Public Schools and Acton Public School System.
Thank you, Kendall. I've been forgotten before, it's all right. No, it's okay. Nice, very nice job, Kendall, thank you. So I just want to tell you, young people, you students at AB, how very proud I am to be a superintendent. To be the superintendent of a Green Flag school is just extraordinary, and I'm so proud of you. Jeff, you young adults, and for all of the rest of us who are not quite as young adults, just last night at a school committee meeting, we watched an 8-minute video on the power of listening to the next generation. It was very powerful and very moving and very true in how much we can learn from the generation that will succeed us and take our places soon someday. So, and also to kind of follow up on something that Representative Benson just alluded to, in terms of what you're saving, it is not child's play. What I mean by that is that, again, for you not so young adults, we're not talking $300 or $400. These young adults have saved so much money, it's affecting decisions at my level, Dr. Callan's level, and in the school committee. They have saved, JD, somewhere around $60,000 to $80,000 less in our utility bills. These young adults did that, and then I was left with obviously the very wonderful opportunity to recommend to the school committee that, well, seeing that I'm spending $60,000, $70,000 less on utility bills, we could use more computers and textbooks, and that's just exactly what we converted it to. So the kids, you young people, you young adults deserve the credit for that. Finally, I would just say, I'm sure many of you are so smart and so learned already in your young lives. You're probably familiar with the Gandhi quote about be the change you want to see in the world. You young adults have really prodded and pushed us to be the change that we need to be based on your great example. And because you are being that change, things are so much better here in Acton-Boxborough. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Greetings. I'm David Zgoyev, a junior here at AB, active member of the school's Resource Force and Recycle Club. And from the students' perspective, the work we put into this initiative is nothing compared to the pure satisfaction that comes with knowing that you're making a difference. Like when I'm working at the compost station, when a student comes up and recycles his milk bottle, composts his food properly, it's just awesome. Like, we have tapped into a great resource of trash from the school's cafeteria, and I'm just ecstatic that we were able to capture so much more recyclable material and compostable food. It's just brilliant. It really is. I love it. And yeah, now, without further ado, I present to you all Dr. Cowan, principal of Acton-Boxborough Regional High School.
Thank you, David. I'm glad you brought up work, because I wanted to just take a moment to really thank the students for the amount of work that has gone into this. They've talked today about teamwork and community and fun and parties, but in reality, what is behind that are many, many, many hours. I mean, even last night, they were here till 10 o'clock. Working on preparing for all of this. That has happened, weekend after weekend, afternoon after afternoon. They've been here, really working hard. So can we take a moment, please, to thank them for their work? And while we're doing that, I also just want to take a moment to thank the adults who have helped them do that work. Kate, particularly. But in addition, Dave Bouchard and Stan Nelson and George Labarge in the cafeteria have done an amazing job. And Steve Singer with the Recycling Club, and Fred Hone with the Envirothon, and people in the office who've made things happen today. There have been lots of people who have helped, and it's been so neat to see. And what's been great has been having students ask us to do all those things. To have students come forward and say, can we do this? Can we? And I think that's made people even more receptive to it and more excited about it, because it's had such a student leadership. And to watch students giving of it has made adults want to do it. And so I do think the point about you all being leaders is so true, because you've made this, not only this particular building change, but I'm sure that behaviors beyond here, both on the parts of adults and students, have changed as well. So congratulations. I think I'm supposed to introduce Fresh Beat, right? Are they performing? All right. And then after that, we'll have a photo with the flag. Okay, so Fresh Beat, our freshman a cappella group will be singing us out, and then we will have a photo with the flag, and then field trip out to the rain garden and to hang the flag. So Fresh Beat.
Hi everyone, we're AB's freshman a cappella group, Fresh Beat, and we're gonna sing a song called Price Tag. One, two, three, four. Haha, okay. Go Nuthead, Moon Man, and P. You ready?
Everybody's got a prize. I wonder how to sleep at night. But down on the coast and the truth feels like it's just stop for a minute and smile. Why is everybody so serious? Acting so damn mysterious. Got the shade on it out. And tears such pain that you can't even have a good time. Everybody look to the left. Everybody look to the right. Can you feel that? Yeah. We'll pay a little love tonight. It's not about the money, money, money. We don't need your money, money, money. We don't make the world dance. It's about the price tag. Ain't about the cha-ching, cha-ching. Ain't about the yeah, bubbling, bubbling. We want to make the world dance. Forget about the price tag. We need to take it back in time. When music means all you time. And some love their videos. And I'm not the only one getting tired. Why is everybody so obsessed? Money can't buy us happiness. And we all slow down and joy right now. Guarantee you when we do it all right. Everybody look to the left. Everybody look to the right. money, money, money. We don't need your money, money, money. We just want to make the world dance. Forget about the price tag. Forget about the cha-ching, cha-ching. Forget about the yeah, ba-bling, ba-bling. We want to make the world dance. Forget about the price tag. Forget about the money, money, money. We don't need your money, money, money. We just want to make the world dance. Forget about the price tag. It's not about the money, money, money. We don't need your money, money, money. We just want to make the world dance. Forget about the price tag.
Thank you all so much for being here, and we'll have students come on up for a picture with the green flag, and then adjourn outside. There's more. I think the reception is still going on outside, and we'll take a field trip momentarily. So thank you all very much.
Hey, Rachel. What's the plan for
I have to leave at 4 o'clock.
Um,